Hey, good morning, Dale. We are going to do a demo video for you for your solo Shoto and go over my desk so I can go over it in detail for you. All right, so after I'm done with the video, of course, I'll send it to you. Let me know if you have any questions and I will get this out in the mail to you today. Thank you so much for having me build this and install it for you. All right, Dale, let's go over what I'm calling the solo Shoto. This is kind of like it's a general blueprint of these sabers that I make, though I try to make each one just a little bit different. So thank you for picking this up from me rather. A lot going on here. All right, so before we go over the saber, you had asked me to make you a plaque for it, so that's what I did here. So typical to the ones that I make for Carl, it does say solo Shoto because that's the name of the saber. It says that in Arabic down here too. Your serial number is the date that it was made. So 10/23/25 was yesterday. That's technically when I got the saber done. I just spent this morning programming it for you with your Jadalorian fonts. I believe we've got 7 or 8 on there, but we'll go over that here in a second. All right, there is a piece of film on the back. You can peel that off if you want to. I don't typically do that. I just leave it on there to protect it. But that's just like a film that protects it from getting scratched up before I actually etch it. I take that off the front. So this is a steel plaque. All right, so we've got that. Put that off to the side here. This isn't something that you asked for, but this is a coin that I made a while back just doing some practicing on the laser. It's a dragon. It's a 3D dragon. I'm going to send this along with the saber as a small thank you. I hope that you like that. All right, so it's a little hard to see on camera, but I was happy with the way that it came out when you take it out of here especially. All right, so we got that. And your saber. All right, so this is the design that you had asked for me to etch on the leather. This leather is from my buddy Albert Ellswick over at Defcon Bird on Etsy. Your one-stop shop for anything that's leather that goes on a saber as far as I'm concerned. All right, I really like Albert over there. He treats me very good as well. So I took that design, lasered it on here, did not laser the stitching so that I didn't cut any of the stitching, so avoided that. But that's how that came out. All right, your pommel is from a coda that I had laying around that I chopped up to make this saber. So you actually have the coda pommel and the switch piece, although I did modify this a little bit. So what I did was I came over here, I drilled out this hole a little bit. This is a glass eye from a Graflex. Put that in there. It does not come out. It has a piece of brass mesh right behind it and a piece of diffusion, and it has its own Neopixel accent. All right, you've got an 8-pixel accent strip right here. Each one of these holes has a piece of brass mesh. It also then has a piece of diffusion and then the actual LED strip. All right, I'll explain what this is here in a second. You have a 2-button setup, so front is power, back is auxiliary. I did do a 3D etch on the Suba. All right, this is just basically a Japanese landscape. All right, so that's what you've got there. This is something that I machine in-house. I do these from time to time. I just really enjoy doing them. All right, you've got a brass knurled thumb screw for your blade retention. I did put a little piece of kanji right up here. This one means spirit. All right, you've got a KR Sabers lit PCB in there. You can see that blade retention screw just falls in there. And this is programmed for a 28-inch, 7/8" blade that we will light up here in a second. This piece right here is from a Canon Y. This is a shroud from a Canon Y. I just enjoy using these. I think they go really good. So I machined the emitter to fit this and everything. All right, the pommel does not come off, but you can unscrew the handle as a whole. So we're going to unscrew the handle. I did machine the handle and then matched the threading to what was already there from the switch piece on the coda. You can slide that out. 1-piece handle. Okay, put that off to the side. Gave you a brass sleeve for your chassis. All right, so I just laser etched, like this is kind of like an Asian motif, a repeatable seamless pattern that I enjoyed doing because I hadn't done it before. All right, so you've got USB-C access for your board. This is also how you're going to charge the saber. So it's set up for charging and for data management. All right, that's how you get to your board. There is a copy of the config file on the SD card that you will see when you plug this in. When you want to get to the board though, you will want to make sure that your USB-C cable is a data cable as well. Some USB-C cords are just for charging, so you're going to want to make sure you have a data one as well if you want to get to the board. And then right next to it is a kill switch. All right, so we can flip that on, and we'll do that here in a second. I did cut out some kanji right here. This is Star Wars right here in kanji with a piece of diffusion right behind it and a 9-pixel accent strip over here. All right, and I did the same piece right over here with the same setup, and that is why I matched that to here. I wanted it to match the chassis, but I just didn't cut it through, obviously. I just kind of etched it on there. All right, so coming over here, you have a 22mm Smuggler's Outpost Nano Elite speaker, fully enclosed in the chassis and then further into the brass sleeve. So it sounds really good. All right, we'll flip it on. Very easy to do with your finger there. As you can see, you've got accents on both sides of your chassis. They are wired together, so if you look at my finger, they do the same thing, right? You can see my 2 fingers and that shine. You've got your glass eye here doing its thing. You've got your strip right here till we hit power. And they go to doing something a little different. And you do have twist off, so that's what it looks like with the handle off of it. We're going to go through all of your sound fonts. All of your sound fonts on this particular saber that you got from me are from JediLorian. All right? So, screw our handle on here. You'll know the handle locked down nice and tight when this threading matches up with the eye. All right? We'll go ahead and put a blade in, so we'll back this up just a little bit. You don't have to take it all the way out if you don't want to. Of course, you're welcome to if you want. Put our 7/8 inch blade in. This is a tad bit smaller than 28 inch. This is my test blade that I use for demos, but it is programmed for 28 inch. All right, we'll hit power. Auxiliary back here. Twist off. And of course, JediLorian sound fonts are very cool and they come with blade styles. To play your soundtrack for each one, because each one has one, do a long press on the power. Okay? Do another long press to turn it off. And then to go to the next font, you would tap auxiliary. Very tight in here. You can swing. You can be comfortable swinging this guy around pretty heavily. Everything is locked in. It's not going anywhere. You can use the power button for the off switch if you prefer not to twist. All right. I don't put twist on the sabers that I do because it goes off accidentally all the time when trying to screw in the handle, but I do enjoy the twist off feature. Blaster bolts are just tapping. If you want blade lock up, hold down the auxiliary and hit the saber. And it'll stay like that until you let go of it. All right, let's go to the next one. Kyber Radiance. Kyber Radiance. Ninja. Gotta be quick there. Cyber shuttle. Now you'll notice on all of these, this one is a different color than the blade. That is done intentionally, though I did make this one kind of match the blade style when it's on, but do something different when it's off. To make all of these the same color sometimes feels a little bit lazy to me, and it feels like you didn't really take the time to program them differently. So I prefer to give you a little something different going on, at least right here. The chassis will do something different. It will match the color of the blade, but not the blade style. So I only made this match the blade style when it's on. So you had a little something different going on all parts of the saber so that you could tell some thought was put into it. All right. I do believe this is the first one. This might not be the first one. This might be the first one here. Typically, when I'm dealing with fonts like from my buddies Keenan or Jesse or Carter or something, I can tell by ear which one is which because I've dealt with them so much over the years. I really do like Jay DeLorean's fonts, but I don't deal with them very much. So knowing what they are just by hearing them isn't really something I can do quite yet. Kyber Radiance. I do know we went through Kyber Radiance already. So we're going to come over here. We're going to loosen this up, take our blade out. Screw this back in. We'll take our handle off here. Slide this off. Go ahead and turn this on. So as you can see earlier, what I said was the blade is red. These will be red too, but these do a little something different than the blade. This matches the blade style though when it's on. All right, you can see your LEDs all lit up here. Come over here. Very easy to flip the switch and turn everything off. All right, and that, sir, is how you work this guy. I hope that you like the way that it came out. Thank you very much for picking it up. I know that these custom builds are not cheap when it comes to having a custom built saber, and then on top of that having it installed as well, especially with the install that you went. It's not the cheapest thing on the planet. So thank you very much for picking this up. Let me know if you have any questions. It's my intention to get this out in the mail to you today, and that's about it. Thanks for watching.